This whole gun sequence, boy, I didn't want it to look too fakey where like I get shot and then you see the blood splatter, because a lot of people just do that and it just don't come out solid, boy. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my Stagger Lee series where I'll explore the methods of filmmaking from the beginning to the end of the whole process of just making Stagger Lee. Editing. Boy, just you know, it take a while to edit this. I use a lot of VFX, and I tell people all the time, but like VFX is to enhance the storytelling any means necessary. VFX itself doesn't have to be just a spectacle type of thing. Even for this first scene where you see Geno just sitting down here, I almost wanted the smoke to be a motif in the story itself, where he's smoking, but at the very end it almost contrasts to the water that's coming out the gun, whatever it is. So anyway, I have this smoke coming in. So first of all, this is on a few different plates. When I say plate, I just mean different video layers stacked on top of each other. So there's an empty layer, then you have a full plate. Like if I were to just play it how it is, there's smoke coming out of his cigar, but I wanted to add a smoke element. So I add the smoke element on top of him, but I didn't want it to be too strong over him. So then I rotoscope him out to keep him on top of the smoke. Same thing with Frantz. I wanted the Stagger Lee intro vibe to almost start off behind him to sort of fade on top of him. Pause. So this is how it looks without any of that. It still look good, still look clean. We made sure to shoot it in a way where regardless of what we wanted to do, it was could be clean. I was standing on the corner. So remember when I say the dog wasn't there? Geno D was only there for day 2. All the people who he supposedly interacting with, they wasn't there.
Like the dog and him was never on the set at the same time. Together, so. But in the video, you could swear he holding that dog, he walking with that dog.
That was 2 completely different days. I just directed him to look down, so he would have had to sort of envision what was happening, but Geno did phenomenal. Anyway, beyond that, Chico is the nicest dog on planet Earth, but like because he was out in the open and he was comfortable and everything, like he wasn't barking at all he did here was just jump up and then lick his lip a little bit or something, but it worked. So I put a little pit bull sound effect and I cut on the big bark so that you can't really see that he ain't bark at all. So when his head going down, it looked like he barking, but let me play all the rest of that. He just was licking his lip, but it looked like he barked, so it worked, you know. So I shot this here in 120 frames per second, which means I got super slow-mo, and I was super proud of this way. I don't shoot a lot in 120 frames per second, but it worked out really good there. So all of this was shot in 4 walls. That's one of the lockers in 4 walls. We had Candi come in, one of the best actresses we have over here. Now this is where all of the tricks of the trade came in, boy. So in the actual shot, there's a TV right here. This is it without the TV. This is with the TV. So what I had to do was, I kept it on a locked off tripod shot. I had to go into Photoshop and I painted the TV out. I grabbed parts from over here and just duplicated over there. Grab the rest of this rail, bring it down there, clean up the boxes, clean up the wall, and just made sure that you can't see the TV obviously. So right here again, there's a TV right here above Alexia and 7. And next thing that you have to be able to do is rotoscope. So the same thing that I did with Geno D, I had to do here, where I had to create a separate outline of them 2 to put on top of the paint that I already put over there, if that makes sense. I don't know. I ain't good at explaining it. Over here, when Donel and Giavanna jump up, if you think about it, there's a TV that's painted out. So when these 2 jump up, I had to rotoscope them out and put them back on top of the Photoshop work that I did, you know. Yeah, same here with Quay. And I know I making it sound a little bit simpler, but rotoscoping, cleaning up the images and all that other stuff take me about 12 hours to do, boy. This whole gun sequence, boy, nah, this take me about 4 or 5 hours to do. So the original shot is just this right here, right? So I had Quay sort of just move his arm and act like he was shooting, but there has to be recoil. So I had to make sure that the slide on the gun actually moves back and then moves back in place after the shot. I also had to put the bullet shell flying out of the chamber and then flying behind Quay. I added a muzzle flash. I added a little bit of gun smoke, but then I went into After Effects and created a little bit of a ripple effect that you might see in like Matrix or whatever. It's called the bullet time effect, so I kind of recreated that as it's passing Nico so hard, but now what I didn't want to happen, I didn't want it to look too fakey where like I get shot and then you see the blood splatter, because a lot of people just do that and it just don't come out solid, boy. So I chose to just not do it. I let the bullet slow down so that I jump from the reaction of the bullet coming, but the bullet ain't hit me yet. And although it might look a little disoriented, in my mind this was the best case scenario for that. That actually might take me about like 6 hours probably. I also did a lot of color grading too, and I ain't even gonna get into the whole color grading science. There's already a lot of visual effects as y'all can see, but this where the bulk of the visual effects really gone. So starting off, I had to freeze everybody but not make it look too campy. I had to take a screenshot, went into Photoshop and created a depth map so that there can be a gradient between the closest parts of the image and the parts of the image that are further away. Then I went into After Effects and used that depth map to create this effect where it's moving from beginning to end. I didn't really think too hard about it. Like, I was cool with however it came out. This take me probably like 5-6 hours just to do this. This is like a 3-second shot, boy. And then for each person, as y'all see, there's a little bit of shine and shimmer on them. I had to go in and track around every person. So this is turbulent displacement, and then I added some veins popping by Hartman of the toilet paper in here. Mel's, Dede, Chanté. Alright, like I say, it's all movie magic. The water was not coming out this gun. What's actually happening here is, originally I had a water gun and I wanted Percy to line the water gun up so that we could see the water spewing out. And then I just sort of put it underneath so that it looks like it's coming from out of the gun, you know? And I think that's really the main VFX stuff. So until next time.